Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 213.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
two crazy ketos. And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, if you're new here, say hi in the comments down below.
Now here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all the different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time I'm wearing a white shirt and on a game show, you'll be alerted to it.
What does that mean?
I will probably run into a lot of tomato sauce. Like randomly, there'll be people with like platters of like tomato sauce and meatballs and what? So, and I'm drinking chocolate element while I wear a white shirt.
Here's the good thing is today's a fasting day. So the only thing we're having is like coffee and butter and coffee. But
yeah.
So technically it's not a complete fast, but like we're not really eating today.
That's probably going to wind up here somewhere.
Really?
Are you afraid to
You don't have
wear
to worry about tomato sauce, though.
White clothing? Oh, no, it'll be strangers. It'll be the children. It'll be the animals. Something.
Hey, here's my thing is...
You're fine? Doesn't matter?
I don't ever wear white.
Okay.
Like, I will see the coolest t-shirt, and if anybody who doesn't know me know, I love, like, funny saying t-shirts.
Obviously.
And I will see the greatest t-shirt and then go, oh, it's only in white. Guess I can't have that.
Right. That's not for me because I
it won't be white
things.
for more than a half an hour, if I'm lucky. The only good thing about white is, for some reason, at least in my experience, the continual grease stains from keto don't show up as much on white as they do on black.
They don't. I even have a tank top that is like white that I was actually asking Robin F to say like, how do I wash this thing? Because all I seem to manage to do, even with interacting with bleach, is turn things pink.
Yeah.
Not helpful.
So, welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. As I was putting together the comments for today, I realized this is episode 213, and we missed 208. We have been doing this for 4 years. Like, we have not missed an episode. It's the only thing that we missed. We have not.
208.
No, we're on 213.
Oh, okay.
At 208, that was the 4-year anniversary of never missing it. It's the only thing that we have been consistent about.
So here's the thing. Consistency is possible, is the message. Because when you're thinking to yourself, like, I have a hard time staying on plan and, like, following through, you're not worse at it than we have been over the course of our lives.
We are consistently inconsistent.
Yeah. So the fact that we can be consistent at something means that consistency is possible. And we can bring that into other areas of our life. Yeah. Right?
So if you're new here, Keto Beyond the Couch 4 years ago started off as Keto on the Couch, where we were just sitting on a couch talking about our week.
Right.
And then COVID came, and we moved into the studio because I got tired of setting up the camera every week and that kind of stuff. And we were able to do a lot more live streams, so we began doing it live. And then last year, we changed it to Keto Beyond the Couch because we were no longer sitting on a couch. But we want to shift our focus to, you need to, as you get your health back,
enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life. Live life off the couch. And we like to do lots of different things, like go to theme parks, go paddle boarding, going for walks, scuba diving. Rachel went scuba diving yesterday. Had some cool Instagram stuff up.
We had a beautiful Easter holiday season. I hope that everybody enjoyed Easter, Passover. I know we're actually in like the Feast of Unleavened Bread right now. Like there's a lot of, holidays going on this season. And I hope that you guys are enjoying family time. And we had a great time. Like Saturday, we got to be with Peyton for her first Easter service. And then yesterday morning, we spent sunrise
devotions
time
on the beach. And then went diving.
It was such a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you that the light just shining down through the water, really just illuminating all of the plant and animal life was amazing. Yeah. Breathtaking.
And I got to practice being an instructor because I took Rachel to the bottom and made her do all of her scuba skills.
Whew.
So anyway, if you're new here, the way we're going to do this, we're going to go over all the comments in the chat and subscriber of the weeks, and then we'll get into the chat here.
Yeah.
So hold off your questions to the end, or you can use the super chat function, which is the little $ down below. That's in the chat box. That illuminates our screen, lets us know you have a question, and it also helps out the channel. A couple little pieces of like work that I need to just talk about. Number one, I wanted to let you guys know Perfect Keto this week is having a like cut your prices deal. So it's not like a full-on sale, but they've lowered the prices on some of their most popular items like Nola bars and collagen and things like that. It's this week only. I left the link for it down below, but also if you decide that you want to get a subscription for those items, you lock in the lower price.
Oh, that's nice.
Because as with everybody, prices are going up and they're like, hey, inflation stinks. So we're going to lower the prices on some things for right now.
Right around tax day.
But if the price goes up and you have a subscription, you lock in that price. So
Don't you wish that we could get into a time machine and go back several decades and like lock in the gas price? I can remember it was in like this wasn't like forever ago. I can remember it was 1999.
Oh, Sylvie said chalk works on grease stains.
Oh, nice. Thank you for that. I'm going to try it for real because like all of our shirts, all of them. And it was like we were driving through South Carolina and it was 70 cents a gallon. I was like, what? Like, don't you wish you could lock in?
When I bought my first diesel truck in 2003, diesel was 89 cents a gallon. It was cheaper than gas. Yeah. Not anymore. So also the other thing I wanted to mention, we put a post up about this the other day. I am super excited about this. So last year, Keto Chow put their magnesium in capsules, which was a game changer because I don't like the taste of magnesium drops, but I need them.
Yeah, we need them, but they taste terrible.
So they put them into these magnesium capsules, and we were like,
thank you.
Amazed by it. I mean,
really
these
happy.
are so good. I absolutely love them. We just pop a couple at night, and they really have helped out with like night leg cramps and things. And I kept saying to Chris, like, you need to put the electrolytes in a capsule. They had them in tablets, which I believe they still have. The problem is the tablets turn to dust if you're in humidity. So even in the sealed packages, if I leave them like somewhere like in my car or something like that,
they sense it's moist.
They will start to soak up water and become like dust. So I said, you need to put them in capsules. And so they were able to do that. And we even did a test for Chris. I don't have the picture of it, but he had given me a couple. And what we did was we came home from Utah and I put the tablets on a plate in my garage. So lots of humidity.
It's terrible out there.
And then I put 2 of these on the plate and I left it for 2 weeks. And then I looked at it every couple days. After 3 days, the capsule, the tablets, they were dust. Like you couldn't even pick them up anymore. After 2 weeks, these had not expanded or anything. So they're really good, especially if you're in humidity. So I'm super, this is the magnesium and this is what the electrolyte capsules look like. And so we're really excited because now if you're doing something like beef, butter, bacon, egg, you want your electrolytes, but you don't want to use like the unflavored like element or something like that. You just want something to take or something for on the road. That's the answer. I'm absolutely excited about this. So we left a link for it down below. If you use our link, you get 10% off everything at Keto Chow other than subscriptions. Also, we never heard from the winner of the Keto Chow My Chow box.
Oh my gracious.
So I picked another winner this morning and I notified him in the comments. I'm going to say again, when we do a giveaway, you need to make sure you have that notification bell ticked because the way you find out if you win is we respond to your comment. And if you don't have that notification bell ticked, you're not going to know that we've responded to you.
You'll miss out on winning something.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. Let's jump right in. We're going to go with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. This week is from Amber.
Hi, Amber.
Amber put up this picture of herself and said, don't forget to take pictures. Sometimes the most notable changes are hard to see. 40 pounds gone from behind. Easter 2022 and 2023.
Wow. Thank you so much for posting this because yes, and the photos are so important because you're going to look at them and you're going to be like, wow, whatever the pounds is, all I see is just like, wow, that is incredible change. Just incredible. Same dress, right. 1 year. look at the difference. And so sometimes, again, we always have our eyes on the scale. Look at the pictures.
Right.
That's telling you the
need
story.
To take pictures. So though, yes, it is like, hey, like take a look at her results. It was more a focus on
visually.
Take pictures.
Yeah.
Make sure you take pictures. In fact, pictures help you with everything. I was talking to my instructor the other day because I'm learning to become an instructor and stuff. And I said to him, why don't you use video cameras when you're instructing students? And he said, well, students aren't allowed to have, it's part of like the training. You can't bring a camera for the first 5 dives because, hey, you're supposed to be learning right now. And I'm talking about as an instructor, why not have somebody there taking video or photos so that you could then show that student, here's what you're doing, here's where you need to work on. And I was telling him when I was learning to officiate, I would stand, and Rachel thought I was crazy. I would stand in front of a mirror and give signals like red ball, time, And so when you don't see yourself, we don't, even when you look in a mirror, you don't see yourself. But when you look at a picture of you now compared to a year ago, you're going to see changes that you're not seeing on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
So it's really important that we have visual cues for ourselves. First subscriber of the week is from Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Amanda said, just wanted to share this to encourage anyone who is frustrated because progress is slow.
Yes, it is.
The picture on the left was from 2019 cruise. The one on the right is from a cruise last week. 4 years and I am not done yet. This is my lifelong journey and I'm excited to keep moving forward as long as God gives me breath. Whatever you do, don't give up. I repeat, don't give up.
Don't
you
give
are
up.
Worth it.
Oh, Amanda. Oh, my gracious. Hottie patati. Look at you in that cute tank top. You look incredible. And yes, we need to take photographs so that we know from one cruise to the other, we're still cruising in this direction. And also, when she talks about it being worth it to continue working on yourself, yes, you are your very best investment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't give up.
Next one is from Holly.
Hey, Holly.
Holly said, I'm sitting in my car, charging my phone, portable chargers, while listening to yesterday's Keto Beyond the Couch. Thank you so much for your prayers for recent tornadoes. It is felt and much appreciated. Living in Arkansas, tornadoes are common, but I've been blessed to avoid a direct hit for 56 years.
Wow.
After Friday's storm, with an EF of a 3+ tornado, I am still counting my blessings. My home is still standing and livable. Most of the damage is minimal. My beautiful mom lives in the home behind me.
Wow.
Rode out the storm in her hall closet with her beloved 15-year-old cat. Her home suffered more damage, but again, we are blessed. Many people on the block lost it all. Everyone count your blessings. Hug your family. Give those fur kids an extra treat or two today. Holly and husband of 31 years is pictured low carb since 3 of 2021. 80 pounds down.
Oh, Holly, you guys look incredible. It honestly looks like you've gone in a time machine and you're getting younger, right? Like they look like newlyweds. How cute. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're so thankful that you are okay, that your mom is okay. I love that thought about counting your blessings. It's really, really important. This month, our focus for the 2 Crazy Ketos Fight Club is you versus lack. It's very easy for us to get our eyes on what we lack, where we are falling short, what is the negative. It's very easy to focus on what's missing, what we don't have, or what's frustrating us. It's so much harder to focus on the positive, but I'm telling you, that's something you want to take a snapshot of, right? Mm-hmm. Like for those tough days when it's really hard for me to be in a positive space, be writing down positive things that you notice. Be taking pictures of positive things so that you can refer to that on dark days.
Yep. Let's take a quick fade to black and come back with all the comments.
My gracious, I've started writing down all of the birthdays that I'm seeing celebrated, and there's quite a lot.
Yep. Well, we do have Joanne's birthday. Did you have a couple others?
I see Joanne, Rita, Kathy, Missy, and Carrie. So you want to just sing everybody?
Yep.
All right, ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many Easter friends. Of course, next year they won't be Easter because it'll probably be like now Easter will be in March or something, right? Like it's always different every single year. But happy birthday, everybody. Also, while we stop to pause, I just wanted to say a big hey, howdy, hey to our friend, Betsy Briggs, who I noticed was here. We love you, girl. We're so sorry for the loss of your service dog, Portia, but we're glad to see you this morning.
Yep. Hey, Serena said, I'm still failing. I want to lose weight. I'm gaining even though I'm carnivore. I will figure this out.
I know you will.
Serena, send Rachel a message.
Yes.
Send her a message. You know, you can email her. I know we've talked about things, you know, it's just some tweaking of stuff.
Yeah.
So let's get some of these things figured out. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's start off with Lori.
Hey, Lori.
I'm wondering if you used to measure protein and fat amounts. I like the idea of only keeping track of carbs, but when I was successful losing fat a while back is when I kept track of everything. I've been trying to listen through your recent videos to get a handle on getting back on track. Thank you. Okay, so when we first started, yeah, we tracked everything. But I don't advise that. It really depends on what you're doing and what type of keto you're doing. When we got started, we followed macro calculators, but the problem is those macro calculators, pretty much all of them out there, including ours, they're not awesome. The reason they're not awesome is they don't know you, right? So it's going to give you an estimate of how much should you eat based on your height, your weight, your age, and your activity. The problem is it doesn't know or take into account, were you severely under eating for a long time? What were you eating before? It doesn't take any of that into account. So a lot of times it slashes your calories. Like if you look right now, one of those macro calculators says for me to maintain my weight, I should be eating 1,520 calories a day. That's not enough food.
It's just not enough.
It's not. I eat well over 2,500 calories a day, and I'm actually losing weight. So that, and I'm not super active. I mean, we'll be honest. I do a little bit of activity, but I'm not Robert Sykes or Bronson Danton. I'm in the gym for 2 hours a day.
No, we are not those people.
So they're not very good. So they slash your calories. And then a lot of them go by percentages, and percentages is not a good way to be figuring things out, especially when they're like 5% of your calories should be from carbohydrates. Well, if you're eating 3,000 calories, that's a lot more than 20 total carbs. And also a lot of them will tell you net carbs. So the problem is you'll lose a little bit of weight, and then all of a sudden you're going to hit a big stall. You want to focus on whole foods. So eat as few carbs as possible, and the reason we don't give you, we were talking with someone about this the other day, we don't give you a max amount of carbs because
you'll eat to that.
We tend to eat to that. If I tell you can have 25 total carbs a day, you're going to find a way to eat 25 total carbs a day.
Well, I'm going to eat 26.
Because like what's one or two extra, right?
Right.
So the best thing to do is just sit down, eat 2 or 3 meals a day, maybe even one, depending on how you're feeling. If you're not hungry, don't eat, and eat till you're full. You should never be sitting down having, well, I'm a little snacky, so I'm going to have a boiled egg. No, every time you eat until you are full.
We should work that sentence out. I'm feeling a little snacky. That's a sentence to work out. That is a word to keep track of.
Right. If you say I'm hungry, then you should be eating a whole bunch of food.
Right.
There should never be a time where you're eating one piece of bacon or one egg or anything like that. When you eat till you're full.
That's good.
You'll begin to get a handle on your satiety. If you do that, you're only going to eat a couple times a day because you're not going to be hungry the rest of the day, and then you don't have to count things. Now, the more times you eat in a day, the more you're going to have to count to make sure you're not overeating. Because if we eat like 6 small meals, you're going to end up, if you looked at the end of the day, you could be eating 400 grams of fat. And, well, if you're trying to lose a whole bunch of weight, that might not be the best thing for you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the best thing to do is keep a track on your carbs to keep them as low as possible. One day 5, one day 20, that's fine. But never look at like, well, I can eat this many carbs. Next one is from Stacy.
Hey Stacy, do you both currently use a triple B&E carnivore or ketovore way of eating? Curious how you incorporate some creamies, keto chows, and yogurt into your way of eating. I follow you faithfully and adore you both. Thanks, Stacy. We adore you. Joe, we left Largo, Isla Morada a few weeks ago. My husband is a PADI certified diver for 23 years. He did 4 dives with key divers. This last trip there, he's always looking for new spots. That's cool.
So as far as diving, Fort Lauderdale is the wreck capital of Florida. We have like...
Fort Lauderdale is a wreck.
Well, no, I mean,
Capital.
we have more wrecks than anywhere else in Florida.
That's
so
right.
if you ever come
For
back
diving.
down here, like Fort Lauderdale is amazing. And everything is very close to the inlet. Like, you hit the inlet, you leave the inlet, and within 10 minutes, you're at about 50 different dive sites. You can swim to many of the reefs from the beach, depending on how far you want to swim. The first reef is only 100, I think it's like 100 yards offshore.
Yeah, it wasn't far.
And then the next one is like another 15 minutes out. And from Jupiter to the Keys, it's the 3rd largest barrier reef in the world. So... lots
amazing.
of diving here in South Florida.
Don't have to go all the way to
it's
Australia.
It's probably the only reason I don't want to move out of South Florida, because we want to farm, but like don't want to lose all that diving either.
You can't scuba dive in farmland.
As far as what do we currently do, sometimes we do beef, butter, bacon, and egg. Sometimes we only eat meat, but beef, butter, bacon, egg is carnivore.
Right.
Okay, even though people want to say it's not, it is. Beef, butter, bacon, egg is carnivore, and carnivore is beef, butter, bacon, and egg. And ketovore, adding in vegetables, things like that, we eat how we feel. We go through times where we only want meat. We go through times where, hey, I want a salad. Sometimes Rachel's like, I just really want some sun-dried tomatoes.
I'll tell you, it's more, I think, the important thing to focus on is what we're not ever, and that is we're never not keto friendly. That's the thing. It's more, I don't think it's as important. I mean, it is important, obviously, what you're eating, but it's very important to keep an eye on what you're not eating. What are you staying away from? And I think that we all need to reevaluate that, right? Like, what am I staying away from? Keep my eyes on, okay, that's not for me. I feel like, yes, I'm very successful because of what we eat, but I'm also very successful because of what we don't eat. And what I was eating before that I don't eat anymore, like that was the problem food.
Right. Yeah, like beef, butter, bacon, egg is not really designed to be like your permanent way of eating. It was designed to be a challenge to eliminate everything else, because those are things, everything in there, with the exception of possibly eggs, is not going to cause reactions for you. Like, some people may have an allergy to eggs. Usually, egg allergy is a childhood issue, not an adult issue. And when we have it as adults, many times it's the egg whites, not the yolks. So if you eliminate the whites, many times we eliminate our egg allergy. Now, again, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but I've done a lot of research on this. Nobody has a beef allergy unless you've been bitten by a certain type of tick.
Yeah.
But those are things that you're going to tend to not overeat, that you're not going to be able to binge, and that are going to help you get a good reset. Once you're done with the 30, 60, 90-day challenge of beef, butter, bacon, egg, then you can start to slowly, and we've got videos on this, and reincorporate things to start going, what affects me?
Right.
Like, if I start adding cheese back in, does that affect me? For me, if I eat too much cheese, I get phlegmy. Does that stop me from eating too much cheese? Not always. But
Phlegm, here I come.
But at least I know that now. Whereas I went for a long time not knowing, like, why am I so phlegmy? You know, so now I know that. Rachel learned that she can eat bacon, she can eat pork ribs, she can eat pork belly. But when she starts eating just like shredded pulled pork, she gets nauseous.
Well, I'm going to have burps that smell like farts.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
So that's the idea.
I'm going to upset the whole family.
So our current way of eating is, so long as it is keto and mostly meat-based, we eat it. And it just depends on how we feel that day. For example, the other day, we went to Blaze Pizza. Oh my gosh, we had pizza. Oh! And we go in, and it's funny, I just saw this article about Blaze Pizza, and it's like number 2 on the 5 least value for your money. And I'm like, you're doing Blaze Pizza wrong.
You need to shop it with Joe.
You know, to me, if you're not getting your money out of Blaze Pizza, you're doing it wrong. Just my personal opinion. Also, Chick-fil-A was on that list, which that one I would agree with.
That I kind of agree with.
So here's what we do. We go to Blaze Pizza. We just get a thin crust. What kind of sauce do you want? Just put a bunch of the basil pesto on the bottom because that'll soak up. And then we load it. Every single cheese.
Meat.
Every single meat. And I'm like, keep going. Whatever veggies we like. We normally get the green peppers, the sweet peppers.
The broccoli.
Broccoli. You get mushrooms and black olives. And then we put basil.
Right.
I think that's what we put on there. We come home, our pizzas weigh like 2 pounds.
It does. It's
each.
like.
Then we scrape all the toppings. We actually have a video on how to eat Blaze Pizza on keto.
Right.
We scrape all the toppings off, and then we eat it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I have no idea how many carbs in there. If I had to guess, probably about 18 with all the cheese and stuff.
But you don't even get sad about the crust because it's like.
Who tastes the crust anyway?
Well, it's like paper. It's like really, really small, thin crust. So you're just like, bye.
Right.
It's like a wet napkin anyway.
Right. So that's where we go. I'm going to celebrate. I'm eating this and I'm not eating that.
We're doing it again. All you can do is like smile and laugh about
It
it.
just started raining again.
Because getting frustrated ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to edit things, but we are running a backup. So yeah, that is how we eat on a regular basis. Just whatever we feel like, so long as it is keto friendly.
Yeah.
Next one we have is from Andy.
Hey, Andy. Rachel, as you spoke of your mother and it's not too late, walk toward hope, I cried. I backed up the video and took notes of your word for word in my journal. I need this so much. I need to be able to care for my grandbabies, take trips, keep up as others walk around, get my health under control. Thank you. God bless you. I'm walking toward hope. That hope. I'm clinging to the Lord Jesus Christ and walking toward his promises. Thank you so much for sharing that, Andy. I was like, afterward, I was like, Joe, you made me like cry so hard. But it was in that moment, that was the vlog that we released on Saturday, I believe. And where we went to Busch Gardens and SeaWorld recently for Caleb's birthday. And it was just when we were processing and unpacking from the trip and thinking about what was our precious, most special moments of the trip. And Joe shared, it was just an awareness that like my mother-in-law is still here. And if she hadn't changed things, maybe that might not have been the case. And so there was that moment where we were reminded it wasn't too late. We weren't able to save all of our family. In fact, I actually lost an uncle last week. And so we can't save everyone, but we're so thankful for the opportunity to turn it around in so many ways. And we're thankful we did, and we're really thankful that my mom did. And it's not too late for you.
Next one is from Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle said, as to negative comments, they always say more about the person writing them than you. They come with the territory of putting yourself out there. Opinions like AHS, everybody has one. And then lastly, in experiments involving rats, negative memories are always much stronger. Negative experiences are incredibly etched because of their inborn self-preservation effect. Happy memories and experiences never are as strong or long-lasting as effect because there's no danger or attack associated with them. So it's just the way we're wired.
Wow, that is such a powerful reminder. And Michelle, thank you so much, for saying that. Sometimes, we've talked about like it is a struggle to have to deal with any kind of negative comments. And I like to take this time when we think about negative comments to think about what negative comments can I work out of my own self-speak? Instead of giving power to a person that's maybe, sharing something mean, a mean statement about us, use it as a time not to feel bad and to like go into a hole, but to say like, this is a terrible way to talk to somebody. Am I talking to myself this way? Because I feel like there's always room for improvement in my own self-speak.
Yeah. Next one is from Stacy.
Hey, Stacy. She says, happy Passover to those who are observing and celebrating. Question. For those who are, do you eliminate the matzah altogether or just have a little bit since it's the holiday to do so?
This is a great question.
Fantastic question.
And people ask us all the time, like, as Christians, like, what do you guys do about communion? We take communion.
Yeah.
In fact, we take communion every single day, and personally, we don't worry about it. Is it probably a couple of carbs? Yes. But for us, it is our faith, and it is really important that we continue it. Now, I will say, it's a valid thought. When I first got started,
We thought it too.
and I would go to a church that was using regular bread and not like wafers for communion, I was like, oh, I don't know. I was afraid that bread
I
was
allowed
going
to
to
do this?
trigger me.
Right.
But I decided my faith was more important. I'm not eating like an entire loaf of bread. So we just began, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I think that this is the same thing. And you know what I love about this? It's that no matter what faith you are, you're still going to have questions, even related to nutritional concerns, right? And so I think that it's completely natural for us to be, having success in this new way of eating, and then this becomes like a roadblock almost, or like you're a bump in the road. You're like, how do I deal with this? How do I process this? And I truly believe that faith comes first.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. So go ahead and celebrate your holidays, observe those, precious days, and then just keep moving forward the rest of your day.
Yeah. The only exception I would say is I don't use this as an excuse to eat a box of matzah.
Right.
Okay.
Which I could.
Matzah was my deal.
Yeah.
But don't use it as an excuse to eat like a whole loaf of challah bread or whatever your faith is. But partake in the traditions of your faith, whether it be communion or having that little bit of matzah at a Seder or something like that, and then moving on. But, have some boundaries with it. Next one is from Tracy.
Hey, Tracy. Aldi is selling a knockoff SodaStream right now for $45. Has anyone tried it? Is that a good idea?
So, okay, I put this up here because I've not seen the SodaStream
Me
knockoff
neither.
one that they're selling. The biggest issue with SodaStream or any of those home soda makers is not the machine, because the machines are fairly basic, especially ones that aren't electric. They're fairly basic. They've got a CO2 canister, you screw a bottle in, and then you press a button and it releases the CO2 into the water. So there's not a lot of mechanical things. So even though Aldi, we tend to stay away from electronic appliances from them.
Because they break a lot.
Because Rachel worked there and she saw them all come back.
Right, often returned.
That would be something that I would say, okay. The only issue with a lot of them is they all use proprietary bottles and proprietary CO2 canisters. So you need to check which canisters do they use. Can you get them anywhere? What I like about SodaStream is they're a pretty big company. You can get the bottles anywhere. They've been around for a long time. You can go on Amazon and just do a search for SodaStream bottles, and you're going to have tons of them pop up, and they're fairly inexpensive. Not so much with some of the other brands out there. So you want to find ones, because the bottles go bad after a while, especially the lids, the seals break. So you want to be able to replace those bottles. And then also the CO2, where can you get it? Where can you get it refilled? SodaStream, Target, Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, that you can get the canisters everywhere. Also, you can modify a SodaStream.
Yeah, we did a video on that, which we can actually link.
I'll leave a link for it up here since we're doing this on video now, but there's also one down in the description where if you get one of the ones that uses the blue canisters, not the red label canister, the blue canister.
Pink.
You can modify it very easily for... after you buy your canister, I think the rest of the parts cost you like $30. For about $120, you could modify your SodaStream and take it from costing a significant amount of money to make your own seltzer water to a couple of pennies, and it lasts you a lot longer.
And we like to put the Dr. Berry mineral drops. We call them the berry drops.
Baby berry drops.
Baby berries. But like the mineral drops from Keto Chow, we like to put a little bit of that in every single one of the seltzers that we make at home. It just kind of makes a San Pellegrino. You don't taste it because those have a really strong taste, and it's just an easy way to get those minerals in.
Next one is from Janine.
Hey Janine, so new to all of this. Can someone tell me how long is bone broth good for? I made it and put it in a mason jar, but I'm unsure of the life expectancy.
If you're making homemade bone broth, store it in the refrigerator. That's first of all. So store it in your refrigerator. I would tell you a week to 2 weeks, depending on what's in there. You can freeze bone broth, then it lasts infinitely. Or you can can it, but you need to use a pressure canner. So I'll leave a link for the one we use down below. We actually have a video on where we're doing retort canning, and it shows us using a pressure canner. But you can't just hot water bath can it because of the ingredients in there. But you can pressure can it, and then you can leave it up on your shelf.
Yeah.
Next one is from Amanda.
Hey Amanda, hi family. Tomorrow I will be 64. Happy birthday, Amanda. Last year I was celebrating finally getting into Wonderland over a decade. I was so jazzed. Then the weight started creeping back on, and without changing anything, I had regained 20 pounds. I was following a different YouTube channel and they went into the overeating protein mode, so I thought maybe reducing protein would help. Well, it seemed to stop the gains, although I didn't lose, but almost all of my hair fell out. I have patchy bald spots I can't cover. I got so depressed, I threw in the towel. My blood sugar soared. Yes, I'm diabetic, and I really didn't care. I regained another 20 pounds, and my hands, legs, feet, and face got very puffy, and I felt awful. 3 weeks ago, I decided that if I never lost another ounce, I felt terrible and was damaging myself. So I raised my protein again and started reducing carbs a little at a time because keto flu is not for me ever again. My blood sugar is normalized. The swelling is almost completely gone and I feel better. I recently found out that both my sister and my daughter have low thyroid, which may explain a few things. So I'm getting a thyroid panel done when I get home for my birthday trip to the coast. I feel so much better that I will keep to keto even if I don't lose any weight.
I love that.
That's
Okay.
our favorite.
We're going to address a lot of this, but
Yeah.
I please take hold of that last statement.
Yes.
I'm going to stay keto even if I don't lose any weight.
I love that. I hope somebody else hears that.
I
this morning.
really hope that everybody hears that, because feeling better and our health, it's more important than the weight loss.
That's right.
The weight loss is just going to be some tweaking.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the thing. I'm not knocking any other channel.
No.
Okay? But I do want to say is restrict the voices. Figure out what you want to do and do that for a while.
Right.
When I say a while, no less than 30, 60, or 90 days. If you're not having results, then change.
Yeah.
Try a little tweaking. But don't do this, well, I did this for a week, it didn't work, so I'm going to do something else.
You don't even know. You're not even like allowing your body to catch up with your actions, right? Like a lot of times you don't even see the results of something. I mean, we've had, like I have eaten, something that doesn't agree with me, and I'm 2 to 3 days just dealing with the inflammation from that action. If every 7 days I'm changing things up, how do I know that I'm not still dealing with the tail end of something else, right? Like it's you're confusing the data that you're collecting.
Now, as far as protein, we need protein. Okay, you need to be eating a minimum of 80 to 100 grams of protein. And yes, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but I've done a lot of research on this.
And I've lost a lot of hair.
Is a building block.
Yeah.
You need your protein. Don't be afraid of protein. People will talk about, well, you need to eat a higher fat than protein. And a good place to start is always at least 1 gram of fat to 1 gram of protein. At least. And then you're going to increase fat from there. You need to eat fat, even if you're trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Because fat is like, it's the mechanism that's going to help you to burn fat. If you're not eating fat, which is what your body is going to use for fuel since you're not eating carbohydrates, what'll happen is your body will go into preservation mode and start, after a little while, you'll lose some weight for a little while, it'll burn some of your body fat and then start going, whoa, 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 I'm not getting any fuel, I better hold on to everything I have.
Right.
And sometimes if you're eating a lot of protein and not enough fat, that's the key, and not enough fat, your body will begin to create glucose from that protein because it doesn't have enough fuel. It's a process called gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is not something that happens that your body goes, oh, I have lots of protein, let me create some sugar from it. It doesn't work that way. It's not supply driven, it's demand driven. it begins to do that when it goes, I need fuel, and this is here. It doesn't really want to do that because it takes a lot of energy for your body to create that glucose from the protein. So it would prefer the fat, but if you're not giving it fat, then it's going to start going, okay, well, I'm going to create some fuel from that protein from your muscle mass. When you want to have a higher fat to protein ratio, you don't reduce your protein, you increase your fat.
Right. I was going to say it doesn't have to be on a seesaw. It's not like you either get protein or you get fat, right? If you're wanting to increase or lower your fat, you don't have to do anything with the protein. Protein can stay there.
Leave the protein and add more fat.
There you go.
There's a good chance, and now it could be a thyroid issue, so I'm glad you're getting that looked at, but there's a good chance that you were simply eating too much fat before and you just needed to dial down the fat. You could have also, again, we don't know your situation, Amanda, but you could have been eating too many times a day. You could have just not been giving your body enough time to actually work on the fat because you're eating too many times, you know? So experimenting with different things like that is a good place to look at. But again, all of your experiments should be for a minimum of 30, 60, or 90 days. Next one is from Lori.
Hey, Lori. Okay, fam. I finally splurged and got a smoker. Best place to get pellets.
You don't want to answer this one?
I don't think that I would be the best person. I mean, although I'm good. Okay, let me just shot in the dark here. Home Depot.
I go to Lowe's. I honestly get them pretty much anywhere. There's lots of different pellet ones out there. What you want to do is look for like full wood. Okay, you don't want to look for ones where they've put together a bunch of fillers and things like that.
Particle board?
Some of the companies will just cheap out. Okay, so I like to get like pure apple, pure cherry.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times I will go to like not so much of a blend. A lot of times though, I go to Home Depot or I go to Lowe's. Lowe's usually in our area has the cheapest price. Walmart carries a lot of them too.
Are you impressed that I even was like aware of like either Home Depot or Lowe's as having it?
Yeah, and one of my favorite brands when I can find it is Bear Mountain. So that's one of my favorite brands, but it just depends on where you are in the country. All of them are going to be good.
This is the time of year to keep your eye on stuff because as we're going into spring and
sales.
Barbecue season, like keep your eye out because there's going to be some good deals.
Yep. Next one is from Rita.
Hey, Rita, birthday girl. I had the biggest non-scale victory yesterday. We were on the way to an Easter egg hunt for my grandchildren, and I decided to stop and get food before so I wouldn't be tempted while there. Brilliant, awesome. Number one. Nothing in the store looked appealing, so I walked out with nothing. Went to the hunt, and despite being handed candy several times, I only ate one small piece. I just didn't care about it, and that is huge for me. I was telling my daughter on the way that candy just doesn't hold the pull over me anymore. You can do this. It takes time and rethinking about what is important to you. Rita,
that is awesome.
Thanks so much for sharing that, and also for sharing your journey along the way. I can remember reading things from Rita where she would make posts and like, am I ever gonna break this, sweet tooth or this hold that like sweet things have over me. So I'm so excited that like Easter was a win for you because it really can be a super big issue. I think every single time we are not at Walmart when the doors open the day after Easter to buy that Easter candy, I still feel like it's a win, right? Because that was something that we did every single year traditionally was just buy a whole bunch of cheap garbage and we don't need it.
Yep. Next one is from Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Sarah said, I earned my first prize for losing 50 pounds. So I chose this ring to remind me I've climbed mountains and I can still climb mountains. I have earned another prize for losing 75 pounds now, but I haven't yet decided what that will be.
Sarah, this is such a great idea. First of all, you picked an absolutely gorgeous piece of jewelry. Like that is a beautiful thing that you will have forever, right? Which I love because we don't have the wait forever. We have the beautiful reward for your actions forever. Like it's like a redemption story on your hands. I love that so much. And I love that you are picking something that is worth working towards. Right. Because sometimes if I set the win, if I set the trophy for sticking to something too low, then I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't need that. But when you have prepared to reward yourself lavishly like this, it does pay to stick to it. That's
Yeah.
a good reward system.
And I like the fact that she's not making the same mistake that we used to make, which was using food as a reward.
Right.
So, you don't have to buy an expensive ring. But we always encourage people, when you're picking your rewards or your goal prizes, have it be something that is not food. Using food as a reward is never going to be a good idea.
No.
It's always going to result in issues, and we used to do it. I mean, believe me, we're speaking from things that we used to do. We used to use food as rewards for our children.
Yes.
We would use food as our rewards to ourselves. I can remember us going, when I lose 15 pounds, I'm going to go out to eat here and eat whatever I want. Well, so basically undo everything I just did.
That's right.
So now what do? We use different things like, maybe buying a ring. For us, we like to use experiences. So we'll be like, hey, when we get to this goal, whether it be weight or something else, we're going to go do this. Something that will remind us of how hard we work to get to where we are and why we work that hard.
And it has to be something that you want. Like for me, I can totally be like, a piece of jewelry would be a great thing for me to work towards because that really is something I enjoy. For Joe, probably not so much. So like you have to use what will work for you. So take the time to find out what are rewards that speak to you. What are things that bring you joy? I loved how Dr. Linskus was sharing that he even encounters patients where he's like, when's the last time you laughed? What brings you joy? And they can't answer that question. If you can't answer that question with anything other than food, then it's really time for you to do some investigation on yourself and find out what does bring you joy.
Are you telling me a good reward for you hitting your goal wouldn't be shark diving in the Bahamas?
No.
Are you sure?
I would be like,
you don't want to go diving with great whites?
There are things that if we were trying to work together as a couple, I would be like undermining our efforts because I don't want to do it. Right? Like, so that's something to just keep in mind. Am I working toward what I really want, or the thing that I've made as the goal, something that I'm going to be like, I don't want to get there.
Next one is from Charlene.
Hey, Charlene, I'm just curious. How many of you have lost friends you thought were good friends when you became a member of keto or carnivore? Case in point, I have a neighbor with who together we would cook and share the meals we made back and forth. She was forever making homemade loaves of bread and desserts to bring to me. We continued to be friends. She even looked for keto-friendly recipes to share for a short time. Now, even though I have reached out, she doesn't interact with me. I thought, okay, she just went back to work. That must be it. Now, after months of starting work, nothing. I'm sorry. Like it's heartbreaking. We've experienced it.
I think it is a very heartbreaking thing, and there may be a time where you encounter friends and family members who no longer want to associate with you on a regular basis because of your eating lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, I'm sorry, but it's their loss.
It is.
If they can't look at you and say, okay, they're working on their health and I'm happy for them, they may not be the greatest friend anyway. A true friend is going to want to celebrate your wins. The problem is when we see somebody else having success, especially if we're like, for example, on an eating lifestyle and we're in the same boat as them.
Right.
Okay, so let's say I'm 300 pounds. Well, we actually experienced this.
You were 300 pounds. I was 300 pounds.
We're each 300 pounds. One of us begins to lose weight and the other one is not because I don't want to eat that way.
Right.
Well, what's the best thing to do? Start putting down the way Rachel is eating. Start putting down the way yours eating. Start telling you how horrible it is. Because if I really want to be honest with myself, I would have to look inward and go, well, they're doing well, I'm not, maybe I should do what they're doing. But I don't want to make that change.
Right.
So we start knocking that. I would also say maybe there's something else going on and don't blame yourself. Maybe that she has some other issues that she's just not ready to disclose to you yet.
Right. Well, I think it's very important to do a friend inventory every now and then. Like, it's important to say, like, you know, if you can picture yourself as like you are the target and every little circle on the target is friendships and relationships that are close to you, I like to take a look every now and then at the ring around me. Like the people that I keep closest to me, the ones that I am listening to their advice, I am moving forward with the directions that they give me. You know, how tight knit is that? Like, who's in that? Should they still be there? Should they still be in that position? It doesn't
move them out to the outer rungs a little bit.
Right. It doesn't mean that like you break fellowship with them. And even if they're family members, they can move to different like levels of those rings, right? Because if I'm listening to them and they're hurting my feelings, they're saying really undermining things, they're becoming a real big obstacle to me making the right choices, then I can't let somebody like that be super close to me if I want to move forward, in my goals. Now, if I want to stay the same, keep them right where they're at.
Right. Next one is from Audrey.
Hey, Audrey.
How can I get a CGM? I will pay for it. I just don't know where to start. So the best place to start is your doctor. Go to your doctor and say, I really would like to get a CGM so I can monitor my glucose, so I can know what's going on and what affects me. If you're not a diabetic, sometimes the doctor's like, you don't need one. Explain, I'm willing to pay for it. Worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to write you a prescription, and then you're going to take it to the pharmacy, and the pharmacy is going to say your insurance won't cover it, and then you have to pay for it.
Right.
You can also contact like Freestyle, and sometimes they will give you a coupon to try it for free. Just reach out to them. If you Google, you'll find lots of things. If your doctor refuses to write a prescription for you, close your ears. I've got a solution for you that Dr. Barry taught me.
He just loves to share that.
So say to your doctor, okay, so let me get this straight. I have metabolic syndrome, which you are not lying because we all have metabolic syndrome. And I am concerned about becoming a diabetic. And I would like to get a CGM so I can see what's going on and monitor that I'm willing to pay for, and you are refusing. Can you please, say this lovingly, notate my records, or say, I want this notated in my records that I've requested it and you have refused.
Can you say this lovingly?
And I want a copy of those records. Watch how fast your doctor will write you a prescription. Because here's what you are doing. Without actually using the words, you are telling your doctor, if I get sicker from metabolic syndrome or develop insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, I'm going to sue you because you failed to give me the tool that would have helped me. That's what you're telling them without actually saying it. So they'll write the prescription because they're worried about getting sued. If you absolutely don't want to have that confrontation, like Rachel, and can't get a doctor to write it, you can go online. Like, we have a link down below for like NutriSense, and there are other companies where basically a teledoc will write you the prescription and they will help you monitor it.
Right.
And they'll send it to you. It does cost more money than going to your doctor and simply paying it for it on your own.
But I will pay it to like avoid the confrontation.
The other option is looking up a teledoc. A lot of times you can find a diabetic teledoc and explain to them, here's my numbers, and I just want to get a prescription for a CGM. And many times they will write it for you. And that's how we got ours. My first one came from Dr. Sivis. I went and I had an appointment with him, and now I just get it through a teledoc. And so they'll just write you a prescription and you go fill it and pay for it on your own. On average, like the Freestyle Libre is going to cost you about $80 for the month. So those are some good places to go. But we do strongly believe that everybody should use a CGM at least one time.
At least once.
Last one is from Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. Says, love yourself always. And this meme says, we cannot shame ourselves into change. We can only love ourselves into evolution. Wow. That is so right. Somebody needs to hear that this week. You cannot hate yourself hard enough to make yourself transform.
Yeah.
Right? You think about like a caterpillar going into the cocoon, going to come out a butterfly, hating themselves and being in that cocoon of change and being like, you're the worst butterfly. Like, I think it would just die, right? Like, that is not a place. It makes sense. that it is not a place of growth.
Yeah.
Hating yourself, saying things that are mean. I mean, we talk to people, we've talked to gardeners that have said that speaking nicely to their plants has made a difference.
Is that why our plants are doing so well?
Yeah, well, I do tell them how pretty they are. And Tasha, I notice every single time she goes by her wall, she talks sweetly to our plants. We actually got our first cucumber this week. And so I'm going to chalk it up to talking sweetly. So talk sweet to yourself this week if you're interested in true growth.
Well, that is going to be the end of today's Keto Beyond the Couch. Again, we are so sorry. We had to end the live stream and then put it up as a video. But it's more important to get something up than sit there through a stuttering back and forth.
That's frustrating.
That's not enjoyable for anybody, especially us.
It's very scary.
And so, like, hopefully they'll get the internet thing fixed. We'll be able to be back for our live stream on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got some great videos coming out this week. I'm super excited. We're a week away from KetoCon.
A week away.
A week away.
We better start
just
packing.
over a week, depending on when you're seeing this. But super excited about that.
You need a new suitcase, sir.
I do need a new suitcase. So don't forget to check out the Perfect Keto Sale as well as order your Keto Chow electrolyte capsules. Those links are down below in the description. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video that I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.